Hi, well, welcome back. Obviously, the panel have discussed obviously everything that you've talked about, and one of the things we wanted to say was, we really did take on board everything that you raised, and I know the panel were all really grateful for how transparent you were with the issues and how honest and upfront you were with the issues, and really appreciate the work that's been done and the passion everyone's got to continue that work. As a panel, we want to let you know that there's support for the precept. We realise it's really difficult. It's a difficult decision made by all, including yourselves, and that it's been unanimously supported by the panel. And there were some areas which we wanted to raise. We'll be making a statement, but in particular, we recognised the significant impact that the lack of capital city recognition funding through capital city status and not recognising that and providing the appropriate funding that should go alongside that has had. The impact of the funding formula and how much pressure and additional pressure that's put in, and that collectively that's having a significant shift in who's having to bear the burden, and sadly it's the people living across South Wales that are having to increasingly bear that burden of that deficit, and we as a panel want to do whatever we can to try and help to raise those issues. Simon, is there?
Yeah, there's obviously we will prepare a report now on the precept to say that it's approved, and there are recommendations along the lines of what we said last year, what the chair just said, and I think one of the main ones was that the PCP expressed its disappointment that the financial burden of paying for an effective police force is being transferred from central government to the public generally by the precept, and the panel feels strongly that this should not continue. I know that's outside your control, but that is something that the panel wanted to highlight. The rest of the recommendations would be along the lines of recognising the importance of frontline policing and neighbourhood policing in particular, and that they recognise that even with this precept, the Commissioner is going to have to find £9 million savings over the next year. So what we'll do is, with the chair, I'll put that into better words so it makes more sense, and we'll send that out within the next day. But ultimately, the precept is approved.
Can I thank the panel for that, because I recognise that it's not been an easy decision for the panel any more than the recommendation was easy for us, and the fact that the panel has taken a unanimous decision is really appreciated. I know the Chief Constable will find that a real encouragement, and it's something that I'm sure will be communicated within the force, which is important in terms of morale and so on. Take on board the points that you made. I'm going to be writing to the Police Minister in response to the letter that he sent to me saying that they're going to look at the capital city funding. So if I may, I will quote the panel's views, actually both on the capital city funding, but also saying that this is on the against the wider context of the shift of the burden and the formula. Yeah. So I think that's really really helpful, and I hope you would be happy with me doing that, to quoting the panel in that way. I think it would be an encouragement to everybody. As we stressed, it's still not going to be easy, but it means a lot to have that unanimous support of the panel. I'm really encouraged by it, and I'm really grateful to the members of the panel for the thought that you've put in, and your willingness to listen to the case that we made today. Thank you.
Thank you.
recommendation, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, just to, and I'm conscious that there's some other recommendations now, so that approving the revenue budget, now that the precepts been approved, is everyone satisfied with that? Approving the capital programme for
Yes.
2025 and approving the treasury management and capital strategies. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. We've got one more agenda item now, which is in relation to complaints.
Yeah, this is an annual report that we have to put to the panel, just to advise panel members of the complaints that we have received. So of course, all complaints are dealt with by a subgroup of the chair and the council's monitoring officer. So panel members don't get to see the day-to-day workings of complaints. But you'll see that since the last report was put up, there are 9 complaints, and they're all new complaints. Some of them were live at the time of the last report. The main significant one is the one on the first page, where we ultimately the complaint against the commissioner was not upheld, but we had a complaint about the panel to the ombudsman, and that was almost like a bit of a perfect storm. The complaint was that we didn't deal with the complaint quickly enough. But what happened was we had a brand new panel. I think we had 9 new members, and we weren't quorate, so we couldn't appoint a chairperson to work as part of the subgroup. We then were ready to go to get a meeting set up, and the Queen died, so we couldn't sit again. So that meant we couldn't have a chair again. By the time we got the chair appointed and dealt with, the complaint had gone in. So we changed the rules following that. So in the absence of a chair, which is currently an elected member, the vice chair, in this case is Mel, could step in. So that won't happen again. But every other complaint here you see has not been upheld. Most of them have been dealt with by Lee, the Commissioner's Chief of Staff, using the informal complaint procedure. There's one live one at the end here, which came in on the 18th of December. I've had a response from the chair in relation to that. I've had a response from Lee, I think last night, in fact, and we'll hopefully conclude that one in the next week. But Chair, that's just for information purposes. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, and the offer is to any panel member who wants to look into these complaints, I'm happy to sit down and go through the full details if you are that minded. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I've not had any other business raised with me or anyone asking, so that concludes our meeting for today. So lovely to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.